The very first Flow Pro show. Hi, Daniel. You guys not muted, are you? Yes, you are.
I'm muted.
You were.
Oh, now it's working fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. So shall we introduce ourselves?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. You go.
Okay, my name is Daniel Laskewitz. I'm a Flow MVP, Flow and Power Apps. I'm 32 years old and I'm from the Netherlands. That's why I don't have
Is this a
chat
dating site?
today. So that's a thing. And yeah, I'm really enthusiastic about Flow, and I hope to share a lot of cool stuff with you today. So
Okay.
yeah,
Thanks. Yeah, hi, I'm Sandy. You see it. I'm based in the US at the moment. I'm in Florida, and I am a business applications MVP as of November, and like to do sessions and education around Flow and Power Apps.
yay.
And today, so Daniel and I got our heads together, and we just decided that the community needed a monthly show of some kind about Flow to give product updates and do demos, have special guests come on, and so this is the brainchild, so to speak.
Yeah.
All right. So today we do have special guests who are in the room at the moment. We've got Jon and Gabriel. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves, and then we'll come to your part later?
Absolutely. Gabriel, go ahead, man. You introduce yourself first.
Hey everyone, my name's Gabriel. I am the community manager for the Microsoft Flow community site. I handle pretty much all the community moderation and administrative duties on the site. If you ever have any questions, anyone about that stuff, let me know and I will be there to help. So yeah, thanks.
Gabriel also does a bunch of social media and community blogs and helps on videos,
Wow,
and he does a whole bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
He was very modest there. He was very modest there.
I'm the primary content creation specialist for the Flow team. We'll go ahead and say that.
Oh, that's nice.
I like that. That's got a good ring to it. Okay, and I'm Jon Levesque. I'm a senior PM on the team. I'm kind of the team evangelist. I own a lot of the properties around the Flow product, and that includes community, blogs, learning material, content, social media, all the speaking and community engagements, all that goodness. So that's my role.
Okay, great. Thanks, guys. So our thought for this show is to have kind of a set agenda each time. First, we go through some Flow news, so some official new feature releases, things like that from the Flow blog, and talk about those a little bit. Talk about some community blog posts, so what things people are posting about in the community, and then do some demos, have some guests, things like that, and talk about anything that's coming up. So hoping to do like half hour, so not super long, but enough to give everybody a feel for what's going on in Flow. You have anything to add to that?
Oh, yeah. All those amazing guests we're gonna have is gonna be the unique selling point of the show, I think. So
I think so too.
yeah.
Yeah, we've had a number of volunteers already, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a list going. So anybody who has some ideas for topics, we're kind of going to try and focus on something each show. Be sure to tweet that to us with the hashtag FlowProShow, and let us know if you would like to come on the show or you have some ideas. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the slides if I can do that.
Yeah.
Oops. Flow news from Microsoft.
Hold on.
Yes. Are we seeing my?
Yeah. Here we
Okay. All right. So first, Flow news. If you haven't yet seen that, you need to go to the Flow blog. There's a link there below. And the first one that we're going to look at, or well, just on the screen here, is we had there was a post last week on some some new features in Flow. There's the advanced condition builder. So there's a little screenshot there on the screen on that. That is in place of the advanced condition editor. So if you're creating a flow and you used to have to use advanced to get some advanced conditions, you can now use this advanced condition builder. Lets you add rows and groups and construct complex conditions. And if you needed to add an expression to that, you can do that now in the expression builder, throw that into the value field, and then set that equal. If that's equal to true, then your condition holds. That's how I understand it. Yes?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Okay. We've also got new is the Sharepoint Remind Me. We don't have a slide on that, do we, Daniel?
No.
Okay, but it is basically in a SharePoint list. If you, you know how in the flow menu in the drop down, if you're in a SharePoint list, you can do things like configure your flows and so on. So now there's a remind me if there is a date field in that SharePoint list, then it'll show you that. By the way, John, if you want to pipe in on any of these, feel free.
I will.
Okay. And then a third thing that was mentioned in that blog post is the new peak code, which is pretty nifty. That lets you, from within the little ellipsis menu on each action, you can click on that and choose peak code. And I actually discovered that by accident before I read this blog post, because I'm always poking around in things, and it lets you see what the JSON is behind that action, and so you can see, you know, what values are coming in and going out and so on before you actually run your flow, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's really interesting because if I look at peak code, I think that's a kind of developer feature.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really a power user thing. So yeah, I think it's interesting.
But I would say, like, for someone like me who is not a developer, but I consider myself a power user, I think it's really interesting, though, because that gets me a step closer to understanding what's going behind the scenes, and I can then fiddle with things more easily if I understand them. Well, not
yeah. Oh, I get it, but it's kind of the.
And you don't have
next
to do
expressions, of course, it's a step into the developer world, and we didn't see that yet from Flow before. So it's an interesting move.
Yeah, although unlike expressions, you don't have to do it if you don't want to.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Anything else on this topic?
No.
Okay. Did you have a chance? Does everybody have a chance to read this white paper that came out? That's written by Chris McNulty, and there. Do you want to talk about this one?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I think we are missing one, but.
Oh, oops! I'm sorry.
Oh,
I missed yours. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry.
No, just kidding. So
Go on,
I wrote a flow of the week, and I did it about generating flows from Visio. It's a relatively new feature, and this is a feature that's available if you have Visio Online Plan 2, I think.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, you have to have an extra plan, but it's really cool because you can create a Bpmn diagram, and you can easily just create all the different moving parts, and then you can map it to flow. So you can say, for instance, for the start action, what's it going to be? Is it going to be SharePoint when a list item gets created, or when a file gets uploaded, or something like that? You can map those parts of your Bpmn diagram, and it's really cool to export it to Flow. And yeah, it doesn't do everything for you because you still have to manually fill in the details, because you can configure the actions, you can configure the conditions, the switch cases, all those kinds of things. But you still have to do all the dynamic content stuff.
So what is the advantage to doing it in Visio then?
The advantage is you have some sort of template. You can see it as a template.
Okay.
And it's also a schematic view on things. So when a flow can get really wide, can in Visio you can show it a little bit more to the point.
I see. Okay.
So that's the
And did you find that process is fairly easy?
yeah,
Important.
it's pretty easy. And I can see that they are doing some other stuff soon. So maybe they will sometime add the dynamic content or stuff like that. But they just start with this, and it's in preview right now. And they are they are doing really cool stuff. And the really cool part about the whole Flow Visio feature is that you also can document your
Ah.
flow
Now that's
from Visio.
something I've been looking for a while.
Yeah. You can
Okay.
export it really easy to for instance, Word, and then you can document on all those steps.
Uh-huh. But
That's
you
pretty
can't go the other way, right? You can't take a
cool.
flow and put it
No,
in.
not yet. No,
Okay. All right.
but I think they might do that sometime soon.
Okay. Cool. All right. So then next, so we have this white paper, and that is it's got 3 templates in it, and lets you and as I didn't actually try any of them yet, but the templates I guess include some content, some power apps and flow, and so that you can download and try those things yourself. There's like an onboarding one.
Yeah.
But it's like a whole process plus Power App, and showing how the Power Platform can work together, I think, with Forms and Power BI as well.
Yeah.
So those sound like they're probably cool learning tools, I would say. At least that's how I find most of the templates, either in Flow, whether they're Flow or Power Apps. I find them to be most useful as learning devices.
Yeah, and I think they are all made by the same guy that did the other templates for Power Apps, I think.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Jon Levesque, I think.
Oh, okay. Did not know
He's
that.
doing all those different things, and it's really cool.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Business applications release notes. If you have a few days, you can go read that.
A couple of weeks, maybe.
Right, yeah. Because how many, couple hundred pages is it?
300.
April 2019 release notes, and but really though, I would suggest, the parts especially that you are interested in, that would be a good place to go see what's coming. And yeah, if we had a more frequent show, we could probably delve into those things, but in any case, we'll at least get there in March or April. Hey.
Yeah.
Okay. Roadmap, this is just so that everybody is aware that that exists, that you can go to that flow roadmap and see what's coming up. That's really useful, I think.
Yeah, it's also cross-referencing to the business apps release notes.
Right.
So it's kind of the 12-month roadmap in here, and yeah, that covers some of the business apps release notes from April 2019.
Okay. So I just wanted to mention about on the Remind Me that we just talked about in SharePoint. The Laura Rogers has a weekly power hour every Wednesday, in case you didn't know that. And a couple weeks ago, she did it on the Remind Me feature and showed how she had expanded on that and tweaked it a bit. So if you're interested in making use of that, I would recommend taking a look at her power hour recording. Did you want to talk about Ashley, or is that me?
Yeah, I'll talk about it. Yeah, actually, really did a really cool job with her first YouTube video, or her first YouTube video she did on her own, I think. about
the
images.
newly minted MVP.
Yeah, and yeah, she's talking all about the images from Power Apps to SharePoint, how you can do that with metadata, and yeah, that's she really can talk really easily about difficult objects or difficult subjects, and that's really really something cool. So better watch that. Oh, I see. I don't have a link in here, but
Okay.
yeah, we will share that after
Yes.
after publish this.
Yeah, I think, is it on her own channel or was that on Paul's channel?
So they share a channel. If you just
Oh,
share
okay.
Paul and Ashley Colmsey on YouTube, it's on their shared channel there.
Okay. All right. Thanks. All right. And then you
Steph.
also, yeah. Go ahead.
I know those guys. No. Yeah, we did a really cool video about the Word Online connector. I think this is one of the most interesting connectors that's out there right now, and it has a lot of potential because yeah, DocGen was kind of the things that were really missing in Flow until now. But they really delivered on that. So I'm really looking forward to see some more features of those. And yeah, it's really cool to see developments like this. Have you tried it, Sandy?
I have not. I need to.
Ooh, you should.
I
Everybody
should.
should.
Yes, everybody should. Yeah, and that
Yeah.
is on John's channel, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. All right. Which I think, did we have a link to that? I know we were planning to. We will.
Yeah, we'll
Because that's
share.
the most important channel.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you.
So we have our special guests now. Let me time for special guests. If I can get my thing, I'll unshare my screen. All right. And so you can take it away, John and Gabriel.
All right. Take it away. All right.
Take it away.
So, okay, let me see here. So, Gabriel, we are here today to talk about the importance of community. And so, why don't we just go ahead and break it up? Why don't you talk about, like, 3 things that you think are important in community, and then I'll clean up with 3 more things that you don't talk about. How's that?
And we'll bug
like
you with questions.
And they'll bug us with
Yeah.
questions in between.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Cool. Yeah, I like that. I'd say first and foremost, the most important part about community would be getting as many people involved as we can. I mean, there's really nothing more important than volume with community, and the more people. So the perfect community would have every single user that uses the product also in the community as well, and that I can imagine would create an amazing environment, and I'm sure that's what most communities strive towards. So the number one would definitely be participation. Like that's first and foremost for sure. The second thing would probably be offering your help where you can. I know it's easy to sort of cruise through places. Even I'm not, and I'm not just talking about the Microsoft community site either. I'm talking about Twitter as well, and anywhere else where you would consider an online community. Offer your help where you can. I mean, if you see somebody post on Twitter asking something about Microsoft Flow, you could even just drop the link for the community and say, go post your question here on the community. And that could be offering an immense amount of help, more than you think you could. And furthermore, speaking to the actual Flow community, if every person offered 5 or 10 minutes of their time to do a topic search there and see where they could offer some of their insight, I can almost guarantee that each one of us could have at least something to offer on a post while scrolling through, while searching for something that we're sort of familiar with. So yeah, participation, I guess, contribution or engagement, I guess, would be my second thing. Don't be afraid to be engaged, to engage with somebody that you see. And probably number 3, let's see, it'd probably be let's go with frequency, because I know that even some of our most dedicated community members have a tendency to sort of divert away from the community in general. And I know that we all have life, and life is a beautiful, busy thing, but to just almost make like a regiment to give back, I guess you could call it, to where it really has an impact would be the community. So I guess I'm speaking to all you flow experts out there listening. If you have 5 or 10 minutes a day, or even 5 or 10 minutes a week to go and see where you could offer just a little bit of insight on one thread to somebody who's trying to solve an issue, it'd be very well worth it. So yeah.
And I would add, doesn't even need to be somebody who considers themselves a flow expert, but if you have a thing that you know how to do, you could search the forums, and plus that's a great way to learn things. Like if people are asking questions, okay, yeah, I'll do a test in my tenant and see how to do that thing, and then help, and that you learn that way too.
Absolutely.
But I do a lot of flow jumpstart and like 101 type of sessions, and I always say, if you have any questions at all, the flow community forums is the place to go, because somebody is always there to answer your questions.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
I
And
love
the answers.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the answers are really easy sometimes, because the flow one-on-one sessions and that kind of stuff, there's a lot of people who just start with flow and they don't even know what a condition is or something like that, and you can easily help them with that. If you have just spent like an hour with flow, then you already know what a condition is and what kind of actions there are, and that's also a pretty big part of the questions in the forum, so you can really help easily.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, there are conditions in flow, Rick says in the chat. That's awesome. Okay, I love how Gabriel went so philosophical on that
Yes,
question.
he did.
He went really high level and philosophical. That was great. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna share my screen here, and I'm gonna actually go a little bit more boots on the ground, practical, and show 3 things that I really like. Okay. So what I've tried to do here, the main thing is we have a new design. If you guys have spent any time in the forum, you probably saw the design change. But we've really tried to section this off, right? I need to get help, okay? So you have your help section here. You want to share, chat, or discuss things. That happens here, right? But then we have webinars and videos and community blogs. Now, one thing I really want to point out, the Flow Cookbook. It's not super utilized at this point, but it should be used more. What the idea is you create a great flow and you just come in here and share it, right? Let's just pick one. Like Yoshihiro, really quick, create something, post a travel time of my location to Teams, right? And he just posts his little recipe here to build that. And, tracking ServiceNow incidents. Let's see, what is this? Did they do it right? Oh, okay, it's Kent. Kent is sharing some goodness. Of course he did it right.
He probably did it right.
He definitely did it right. Yeah, so it's a great place to come and share some flows that you've built and also get recipes to how other people have built their flows. And it's a place that, we don't talk about that much. And you see there's only 123 posts here. So definitely something that could be used way more, but a place that I absolutely love. Next, the webinar and video gallery. 120 posts in here. Pretty good, right? But again, definitely something that could be used more.
I see lots of Jon there.
I'm trying to put my stuff in here, but check it out. Here's Vivek posting that API guy. Nice, good stuff, dude. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's in there.
Yeah. Gabriel's got some things. Mark Stokes. So there's a lot of goodness in here. I'm surprised we didn't put the Flow Conference videos up in here. I'm going to have to fix that and get those in here as well. But lots and lots of goodness. All free learning here. You can watch these whenever you want, as often as you want. And when you like them, make sure go ahead and click on them and give them some little kudos there. Oh, it's going to make me sign in, of course, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go through all my 2-factor authentication right now. Okay, and the third thing that I really want to point out here is the Flow community blog. This is something that Gabriel actually puts a lot of work into. Twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays usually, there are posts that come out written by the community. I think there's like over 200 or 300 of them at this point. Gabriel writes a weekly post, the community corner, where he does a wrap up. Look at there's Vivek again. He's all over the place. Awesome. I love it.
That's pretty philosophical too, I think, the community corner.
Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is. And now check this out. So I've actually created a program for our partners so that when they make a new connector in Flow, I've asked them to start making a post here in the community. And so this Encodian connector guy, he has an intro post. Now he has a second post here, which is a guide on how to use his connector. And so this is a place you want to be bookmarking. I'm actually going to make a Flow template. I found a hidden RSS feed for this page. And so I can actually make a flow that when new posts happen here, you can get an email or a tweet or whatever, similar to how we do the normal blog. So I should go ahead and make that and put that out and stop talking about doing it. Just do it. But I would say those are three things that maybe not everyone knows about that are buried in the community. And you know, I know that this place, the main section is here, getting questions answered, and also this is the main area where Gabriel mentioned that we could really use your help, 5-10 minutes a week of your expertise right here in this Get Help section. And even if it's just the simplest question in the world and you just answer one per week or one per month, it's something, and you would not believe how much that actually contributes to the overall health of the community and how much it helps us, because then it's one less thing that we all have to try and get answered, because that's really our goal, is to try and make sure that everyone's getting everything that they need here.
Cool.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. So the URL for that, or how do you get to the Flow community?
Okay, so it is, I'm going to put it in the chat, http://aka.ms and then flow.com.
Okay.
Just like that.
All right. You can also get there from the Flow homepage if you go to community.
So Maurice, there's not an app, but that community site is now mobile friendly.
Yes.
So if you go ahead and click that link, you can go ahead and use it from your mobile device. It is not like it used to be. It has, the new skin has brought it into the 20th century with responsive.
Sorry, John.
Yeah.
I was bugging you about that. I know.
No, believe me, I fought for that for a long, long time.
Cool. All right, great. Thanks, guys.
So much.
Yeah, anything else that we wanted to ask them about the community?
Yeah, something I really like about the community is also the flow IDs. That's also something I would love to point out. It's one of the forums in here.
Yeah, am I still presenting? Presenting?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's go. Let's show that real quick here.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So the give feedback and share ideas here, the Flow ideas forum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is actually really, really, really important. We on the Flow team ask that all of you put the feedback and features and things that you want us to implement here in the ideas section. And so you can see, if we go to separate these by top, you can see that some of these, like the copy action is planned, and actually the status should be changed because we're already working on that one. Create a trigger for SharePoint list columns. Oh, I see. So trigger on an individual item in SharePoint. So provide a method of organizing flow. So solutions happen. So that one's completed. 365 planner completed. Send approval email. Add the from field on your send approvals completed. So you can see that a lot of the work that goes into Flow, we source from here. Last year's actually 6 out of 10 items that we put into Flow came from the ideas forum. And so it's a very important place for us. We really do listen. And so thank you, Daniel, for pointing it out. And if you want to suggest an idea, you can go ahead and do that right here. But before you suggest an idea, we ask that you do one thing. You search. Okay, and so just search all community and search like something,
State
you
machine.
know, perfect. State machine. Thanks, Daniel. Right? And so
Sorry.
search state machine. That's okay. No, that's okay. And then let's see here. Oh, look at how it looks broken, huh?
The third item down in the search is an idea.
There it is. State machine workflow, inflow ideas. So that, okay, so if we click on that, you can see that that one already exists. And so you wouldn't want to go and make a new idea, because then any votes that would get put on your state machine version wouldn't get added to the one that already has votes, and then they wouldn't get critical mass. We go through and we try and merge ideas as best we can. But there's like 12,000 items in here, and so at this point, it's quite unmanageable if everyone is just making individual ideas. So we put the onus on you to please do your due diligence, do a search, look for those items inside of Flow Ideas. If you see something close, awesome, vote for it and put your comments in line and say, this is close, I'd also like this variation. Just try and give them critical mass so that they raise up to the top and they get our attention. Awesome. Thanks for pointing that out, Jan.
Yeah, that's a really good point, John. Like, I'm guessing that there must be some other state machine ideas, because that one's only got, what, 27 votes?
Exactly.
and I'm pretty sure there are.
Everybody should vote for this one, by the way.
But
sorry.
But then make sure, so when you do post an idea, or if you find one that you have voted for, you can tweet about that and whatnot to get more votes on it. Do you have sort of a cutoff, John, that you look at number of votes to slip that into?
So typically, if something reaches 100, we will then react to it. Now, that is not absolutely true in every regard. There are items with 100 votes in here that don't have a status, but we are constantly working through that. And so I would say 100 votes is kind of your marker to really start being noticed.
Okay, cool. And Rick points out in the chat, you can also see what's not yet in Flow. And so, that's good to also know.
Totally.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're about to the end of our time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this has been fun, and I thank everybody for joining. I think I don't know if we had any specific events we wanted to talk about coming up, other than there's like the Power Platform World Tour things, which have Flow tracks, and there are lots of Flow user group meetings coming up. So people need to go to the Flow user group site and find Flow user groups in their area.
Yep. I'll be at Silicon Valley, Power Platform World Tour Silicon Valley next week. Cool. And then
And you're keynoting, right?
I am the keynote there.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. I'm very excited.
Another one.
Yes.
How many keynotes do you have this year again, John?
I have 5 keynotes lined up for this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's all the Flow events you need. Everybody. Cool. All right. Anything else, Daniel, am I missing anything?
Yeah. If they have feedback, just send it to us.
Yes.
If you have events we should call out, yeah.
Yeah, we'll try and hit a similar time next month. I think we didn't really look at our calendars yet, but we want to try and set up some kind of regular cadence with it. So, and yes, we have recorded it, and we're going to be putting it on our brand new YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for having us.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. Thank you for being here. All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.